Hello, everyone. Hope you guys can hear me. Um, Pretty nice couple of days in terms of the weather. Not too hot outside, which is freaking awesome. Um, Been sick for a couple of days. Had a serious sore throat, headache. Um, it's good to be. It's good to be back doing some streaming. Just gonna stream for like a little bit, not too long. Wanted to talk about a couple of things. Before I dive into the Superman stuff, because the Superman stuff is something I do want to talk about, I first want to look up this. I think this was released yesterday or the day before. I can't remember. I think it was like a minute clip of them shooting, starting to shoot for the next Spider-Man movie. It's called Spider-Man: Brand New Day. Like Jesus, like I'm sorry, but these names are just so dumb to me. Like I really hate these names for these movies. But I'm guessing these are some of the there's some of the concept art for the movie. So it's been confirmed so far that in the movie, um, John Berthol's Punisher, the same Punisher from the Daredevil series, he's going to be in this playing Punisher, and also the Hulk is going to be in this. Um, for me, the Punisher is fine because obviously, for those of you who don't know, move the mic back a little bit. For those of you who don't know, the Punisher, that's where he was introduced. He was introduced as like a one-off character in like I think it was like the original Amazing Spider-Man comic books. He was introduced, but yeah, he was introduced as like a one-off character. But because he was so popular, they brought him back, and now he's like a staple to the Marvel universe. But yeah, the Punisher in here in this movie, I'm okay with. The Hulk, the Hulk, I don't know because first of all, when we're talking about the Hulk, we're talking about like you gotta remember, it's Professor Hulk. You know, Hulk. That's not even the Hulk. And I said this before. I never was a fan of the MCU Hulk. Um, I always liked Edward Norton's Hulk because I feel like that was like the last. That was like the first and last time we saw like the real Hulk. So, but um, But yeah, let's take a look at this clip 'cause I think there's a clip that they show some. So that's when it's releasing. It's releasing at the end of at the end of July next year. So basically a year from now. Um, all right, here's the scene. Let's play it.
Yeah, feel good, man. It's day one. My fourth ever day one on Spider-Man. You know, alrighty.
So how you feeling?
Yeah, feel good, man. It's day one. Day one. My fourth ever day one on Spider-Man. You know, it's funny putting the suit on. It feels different this time somehow. It's also the first time we've ever had fans on set for day one, so it's really exciting to share this with them. We've got some familiar faces on set.
Oh, me, man.
You know, I'm just going to do my best, hopefully get it right. No pressure.
Wow, that's a really good one.
So yeah, apparently that's their day one. Still not a fan of the name of the branding of these movies, man. Like I just don't understand what's good with these names. Like seriously. But at this point, like I wouldn't mind if they just called this the Spectacular Spider-Man instead of just them just calling this like Brand New Day, like Homecoming. Like I don't know. I'm just not a fan of the names that they call them. But yeah, apparently this is coming out next year. Was never a fan of the MCU Spider-Man, anyways. He was more like an Iron Man protege, more than a Spider-Man. When you really look at it, I didn't really like any of the movies. I only watched No Way Home because of Andrew Garfield and the return of the Spider-Man villains. That was the only reason why I enjoyed that movie. But when you rewatch these movies, the storylines, plots were just like pretty dumb. Especially Far From Home. I rewatched Far From Home the other day. And my God, that the whole storyline for that was just really stupid. I thought Mysterio's costume was really cool, but rewatching that was just like, damn, this story is stupid. But yeah. So there's that. Main thing I want to talk about is this: what's happening with Superman. So apparently, Superman is going to be releasing on digital pretty soon, really soon actually, and it's only been, I think it's only been like about a month since it's been released. But apparently it's going to digital like pretty fast. It's kind of alarming. And according to the box office numbers, Man of Steel still made more money than it. Because there's a lot of, because what they're doing right now is that they're saying Superman surpassed Man of Steel box office numbers domestically. Like they use domestically so they can say that, all right, we made more money here in the States. But when they look, when you're talking globally, like Man of Steel is cleared Superman. So again, even though I don't know why Superman's trying to compete with Man of Steel, they should be competing with other movies that it's releasing with, but apparently they just want to keep. I guess that's just them trying to nag at the Cavill fans and the Snyder fans. That's basically them. That's basically what these mainstream media people are just. They're probably just trying to do that. But yeah, let's take a look at this video from Neurotic.
Superman's James Gunn is in the news because I need to get a breaking news sound effect. Breaking news, everybody. James Gunn lies.
I am shocked. I mean, I'm just shocked.
James Gunn lies. All studios lie, by the way. All studio heads lie. It's part of the business. It's like in sports. General managers lie all the time about trades and everything. They lie. And James Gunn just happens to get caught in the most because he won't shut the fuck up on Twitter. This is a studio head. This isn't some director. This isn't some writer. This is now a studio head. And remember when he said...
Yes, this dude, like, James Gunn just, like... it's cool for him to, communicate with the fans and stuff on social media, but you just gotta, take a break. And I feel like that's a problem with a lot of these creatives. Like, they're too focused on social media and their image, man. Like these people need to stop doing that. Like, if you're so worried about social media, then you have a problem. That's just my personal opinion. Especially if you're in the business of making projects like this, like films. Like, your focus you should be more focused on your project than you should be on social media. Like, it's ridiculous.
And I'm going to dial it back online a little bit. That lasted for about, a month or two? And he has contributed to his own demise by being a reply guy. It's okay to reply and basically it's go, hey, we did the best job we did on this movie. I hope you really enjoy it. Please go see it in the theater. In an IMAX. That's all you need to say, ever. Everybody worked really hard. David Cornsweet's a good dude. Rachel Brosnahan has great assets. And yeah, we want you to see this movie. That's all you need to ever say. But he's a sensitive guy. So we'll discuss it going to digital in 2 days.
It's for pre-order already. You can, on your Fandango. I saw it.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So it's basically it's you got to pay for it. You got to rent it. And
the fact that you have to rent it is insane. I thought it was like going to digital, like it was going to streaming, like HBO Max. That's what I thought. I had no idea you had to pay for it. That's actually pretty funny.
It looks like what it is, Chris. It looks like we need some more money. That's the optics of it. Whether it's true or not, I have no idea. But yeah, somebody posted up. I think it was one of the, Screen Crush, whatever the fuck, Cosmic Marvel or dick sucking film or whatever, put up that James Gunn's Superman was going to go to stream or was going to go to video on demand on the 15th, and then either somebody else retweeted it or not, but I read it. James Gunn responded by saying, no, it's going to be way after that. And then it was reported it was going to be on, pay-per-view rental on the 26th. So I was going, wow, I guess 11 days is like way after that. That's okay. Then yesterday, James Gunn tweeted that it's going to be Friday the 15th. And it's still in theaters, and it's not like, domestically, it's not like it's doing terrible.
So, the movie's coming out on digital on the 15th. And, wait, let me get this straight. So the movie's coming out digitally on the 15th, and it's still in theaters. I don't get it. Why would they release it digitally that soon, though? Especially if it's still playing in theaters. I'm kind of confused on why they're doing that.
Terribly, but it's fading. It's fading pretty hard domestically, and it's not picking up internationally at all. And it is.
I mean, I said this time and time again. Like, I had a conversation with my close friend yesterday about this. Like, he went to see it because he said because he was like, it's either I watched this or Fantastic Four. I wish I talked to him before, and I would have told him, like, I heard good things about Fantastic Four. Go watch that. He went to see Superman. He said he didn't really enjoy it. He said there was a lot of things he didn't really like about it. He said he didn't. It was pretty the same thing as how I felt about it. Even though I personally didn't see it yet, it was still the same thing. Yeah, here he is right now, Foo Flame. Literally, we have the same things, opinions about the movie. The suit was not it. Compared to Henry Cavill's suit, it was not it. The fighting just did not feel. I just did not feel the power. I just did not feel the weight of the hits compared to like Man of Steel did. Also, like, from what everyone has told me, like, Superman is getting his ass whooped throughout the entire movie, and that is a problem. Like, did he get his ass whooped in Man of Steel? Yes, but he always turned it around. This movie, this was getting his ass whooped like the entire time. And I heard the dog is freaking annoying in the movie. Like, the dog is annoying as hell. And then you got Supergirl coming at the end of the movie drunk. Like, again, this is the direction that DC wanted to go. Apparently, like I said, Man of Steel is not a perfect movie. Like, I will not sit here and say Man of Steel is a 10 out of 10 movie. It's not. I said this before. I give Man of Steel maybe a 7.5 out of 10. Maybe highest I'll give it is an 8. Because the one saving grace about that movie is Henry Cavill. The CGI, because it's till this day, 10 years later, that CGI is still amazing. One of the best CGI I've ever seen compared to movies that are coming out even till this day. And like, there's just so many things about it that just makes it memorable to this day. Now, there's a reason why people still talk about it 10 years later, why it's considered a cult classic. And reason why we're having this discussion about why this movie is going to digital, because this movie did not make more money than Man of Steel. It didn't. When you see these posts on Twitter of them saying it beat Man of Steel domestically, that's only them making more money in the States. Worldwide, overall, it did not beat Man of Steel. It did not. And I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was gonna beat Man of Steel because, ever since it was announced that James Gunn's taking over DC, a lot of people were excited about this. But I'm just gonna be honest. Like, if this is in terms of this movie, of them literally introducing to us what tone of the universe of this universe is going to be, what direction these characters are going to act like. if this is what DC's going to be like moving forward, then hey, I guess what Zack Snyder was trying to do before, I guess people just didn't like it because it was quote unquote too dark. Even though I don't think it was that dark. I don't think. I mean, Man of Steel was a. I mean, I feel like there were aspects in Man of Steel that were pretty dark, but I feel like there's certain stuff that could have stayed. Like for me, the main thing was the fighting. The fighting was top notch. Some of the best superhero fighting I've ever seen in any movie, hands down. But hey, we had it good. We don't know what we had until we lose it.
It is insane that something that's made 50 million domestically. Normally, in the past, a superhero movie like that would just be doubled.
Yeah.
That would be doubled, and it would be at $700 million by now.
And that's exactly, he is exactly right, because superhero movies back in the day, they would easily cross that $500-600 million mark easily. They would easily pass that mark because one thing about them is that the movies they even cost that much to make. Because movies nowadays, I don't know what the hell's going on with these over-bloated budgets that they're spending on these movies, but apparently these movies back in the day don't cost that much to make. Did you guys know that Man of Steel, it costs less? I believe it costs less to make Man of Steel than it did to make Superman. Because I believe Man of Steel only cost like what, 250 mil to make, and I think this one cost about, I think it was about like 300 to 350, for I believe. And Man of Steel made over close to like 700 million, close to that. And people considered it like and people were had mixed opinions about it, but overall, a lot of people enjoyed the movie. So, again, I just don't understand what's going on in Hollywood. We do not have superhero fatigue. We just have a fatigue of bad products. That's literally what it is. People are just getting tired of watching bad products. It's the same thing with gaming. People are upset with bad products. In gaming, the excuse now is that we give you what, like 55% of a game, and then we'll put everything else for DLC, and you have to be, and that's when the microtransactions comes out. Like, no, people don't want that. People want finished products. People want something that, instead of you doing something just to check a box, or doing something because, oh, you're trying to stick it to your quote unquote haters or your ops, just make something that you're passionate about. And especially if it's something that's based off an established material, make sure you respect the source material and you respect the creators and giving the fans, the customers, what they want. It's that simple. Like, it's that simple. It's amazing to me how the freaking Japanese do this every single day, every single year for decades now, and it works. They do this with anime and manga. It's so easy. They adapt the anime, they adapt the manga into anime, page for page, and it sells. People like it. Why do you think One Piece is the most dominated manga in the world? The anime sells the manga sells the anime. It's that simple. I just don't understand why Hollywood cannot see that. Hollywood sees something like, I like what he's doing, but I want to put my own taste into it. Like, that's the problem with Hollywood. Too many egos running around. That's the issue. Like, it's just, again, like, it just amazes me how the Japanese can just come up with, like, these very simple, generic stories, and they can just build a huge cult following around it. Like, I'm serious, man. There are just some series that me personally I'm not really into, but I respect their fan bases because it just works. Like, the creator has an idea, a simple idea, nothing too patriarchy, nothing too political, just something simple, and they make it work. There's an anime series out right now, right? It's about two females. It's about minerals. I don't know, bro. I don't know anything about minerals, but I just find the show so intriguing. It's amazing to me. I was talking to my friend I was talking to my friend about this the other day too. Sakamoto Days. Um, I'm not really the biggest fan of Sakamoto Days. I think it's an interesting series. I think it's interesting. Pretty decent action sequences, but like that's a simple story right there. That's a simple series right there. That's something that Hollywood. That's something cartoons that Hollywood used to do back in the day. They don't do that anymore. They don't make cartoons like that anymore. Something so simple. Same thing with something like Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer is so simple. That's something that the US they can make something like that easy. Like easy. Like we used to have stories like that back in the day. Like that's easy. But for some reason we can't make that anymore. And I just don't know why. Like I feel like entertainment is just getting so watered down, like it's not even funny. Chainsaw Man is not something simple. That is something that this is something that's very unique. This is something that I feel like where they get a lot more of from the East, from Japanese. Because series like Chainsaw Man, what's another one? Centauria, it doesn't have an anime yet, but Centauria, well, Vinland Saga just ended, but we're not gonna get series like that from the West anymore. We're not gonna get a series like that because that is like a level of creativity that you have to have without putting any of your political or any of this weird mindset into it. Like you just have to like have your creative bone, like you have to have like your mind, your creativity on, like just have it out there and not have none of your political sides like whatsoever near it. And I feel like Chainsaw Man, well, I mean the Japanese in general, like they don't, when it comes to them making their stuff, they don't put their like their whole political identity into anything. They just want to entertain people at the end of the day. Yeah, Vinland Saga is a good example. Yeah, like yeah, Vinland Saga is a good example too because Vinland Saga is based off of Scandinavia, based off the Vikings, and mind you, that was created by a Japanese artist, a Japanese creative. So I want you to think about that. We're not going to get stories like this anymore, guys. We're not going to get stories from the West like this anymore. And I said this time and time again, not just with entertainment, but with gaming and everything else in general. We have to move past Hollywood. It's just that simple. We have to move past Hollywood because things are getting so watered down. Like, look at CGI. CGI is getting watered down. Like I told people this before they watched the Superman movie. Watch the fight scenes from Man of Steel and then watch the Superman movie. Tell me if the CGI is there. Because I've seen clips of the CGI. My friend showed me clips of the CGI. And my God, compared to Man of Steel, I'm just so confused what the hell the money is going towards in terms of the CGI budget. Because my God, I feel like now they are overpaying these people who do CGI for lesser work. Because it's insane. It is insane that you're telling me that we had better CGI in the 2010s than now. It's insane to me. Yeah, the Superman movie. I feel like the worst one was the Flash. That Flash movie. Because that Flash movie, Jesus Christ, that CGI was insane. And that's a movie that cost, I think they spent like over 300 mil on that movie. Like, my God, the CGI in that was so bad. Even movies that were considered like quote unquote bad in the 2010s still had better CGI. Batman vs Superman, I consider it to be not a good movie. Still had good CGI. The money was well spent in terms of the CGI production of it. I just wish it was better spent in the writing. But we're heading in a bad place, guys. We're heading in a bad place. Let me fast forward this video. I want to see if he brings up.
But now it's not.
I want to see if he brings up some numbers for this.
Friday, which is way after the 15th, which is actually...
Okay, so, and again, this is the issue that I have with the movie. Ever since they started marketing this movie, when they started marketing this movie, they marketed the movie as Superman literally getting hurt. This is not Superman. This is not what you picture when we see Superman. Like, if you go back and watch the teaser trailers for Man of Steel and how they teased that, some of the best marketing I ever seen. Some of the best. Like, I remember the first teaser trailer I seen for Man of Steel. It was when I went to see The Dark Knight Rises in 2012. I remember when they showed the trailer. It was just a teaser trailer, and it just shows like Superman just flying up into space like a freaking like a missile bullet, like just like breaking through the sound barrier. Like, it was just amazing. Even the song quality they used for him flying was amazing. But a lot of really good attention to details back in the day, and that's something that I like. That's something that I want, that is lost in the 2020s too. I feel like there's not much attention to detail for the little things in movies now compared to how they were back in the day.
Actually, Friday, everybody.
So it is, yeah. So it's coming out on digital on Friday. Yeah, bro, I told you this movie is gonna be whatever. This movie is not gonna be remembered. This is not gonna be remembered compared to Man of Steel. 10 years from now, if you ask people their favorite Superman movie, people are still going to say Man of Steel. People are still gonna talk about Man of Steel for another 10 years. I am calling that right now. No one's going to bring this up. Nobody is going to bring up this particular movie up. The only way they will not bring up Man of Steel is if, most likely, they're probably going to work on they're 100% going to work on a Superman sequel. They're probably going to have to make some major changes, obviously. But unless that movie does better than this, no one's going to talk about this one. No one's going to talk about this movie when they talk about their favorite Superman movie. No one's going to talk about it. Like, who markets a movie this? Like, bro, this is not Super. This is not Super right here.
So, not surprising that the man who said The Flash is his favorite superhero film ever.
I forgot he said that. I forgot he said that shit. Until this day, I don't know why they cast Ezra Miller to play the Flash. Like, arguably one of the worst people to play a superhero role.
The man who said, "Oh, it's possible that we could recast."
Hold on, I think it's right here. He talks about it. Hold on. Come on, load.
Any fans saw Superman? I know inflation is racist, but ticket prices tell you how popular a film is.
How isn't what? What?
Is and how many fans saw it. Box office numbers don't guarantee a lasting cultural impact. Connecting with fans does. Supply and demand, baby. So, I mean, I'm sure this is estimated because you're going off of average price of ticket. So Man of Steel, listen, I want to preface this. I got no dog in this fight. I don't. I'm a Donner. I'm a Donner bro. I'm a Donner dog, if anything. And by the way, I would say
and that's the one thing. And that's the one thing I respect about about the pro comic fans. Like, most of them are not really they're not really fans of Man of Steel. Like, they have their gripes about it. Like, a lot of them said they don't really like it, and I respect them for that. I respect some of their reasons why they don't like the movie. But they will say that they would rather Man of Steel than this current Superman movie. And that's the thing I will respect about them.
Global box office for both of these movies combined does not beat Superman as it stands right now. So you combine the global box office receipts of both of these movies, and they are not more than the original Superman, adjusted for inflation, which is racist. 2003. So you got global box office of Man of Steel is $670 million.
So $670 million. That's how much money Man of Steel made. 670 674 million from a 250 million budget. Well, if you let's say about 280 because they have to market it, which is good. They made the money back and they made profit. That's good. I don't know how. I forgot what's the budget for this. I heard it's like 350 million.
2013 average price for a ticket is about $8. Tickets sold 82,426,879. If you go over to as it stands right now, and admittedly it's still in the box office, Superman's James Gunn sitting at 578,843,139. 2025 average ticket price is about $16. Tickets sold 35,997,714. Are the times different? Yes. Is there more competition? Yes.
So as of right now, this movie made about a little bit over 500 million. Let's continue.
That's not a good argument, though, because there have been some movies that have sold a shit ton of tickets in the last 3 years in this era that have gotten well over $1 billion. Avatar is going to crush all this when it comes out, which I don't understand to this day because those movies are woke and shit. 82 million tickets sold.
All right, so here are the numbers right here, guys. So Man of Steel, 670 mil. The average ticket price back then was $8. Man, it was not. Man, it did not cost $8 to go to the movie theaters here. I think I paid like, how much did I pay to go when I went to see it? Because in Boston, I think it was like around like $12 maybe. It was $8. Yeah, right. I wish it was that. I believe it was for AMC. It was like $12 for like the longest time. I do not remember it being $8. 82 million tickets sold. So yeah, really good. This, all right. We'll say this is 600. We'll just give it 600. Well, even all right. If that's the case, we'll have to give this 700. $16 ticket price, so it's basically doubled than what it was over 10 years ago. About 36 million tickets sold. I mean, like I said this before. There's not a lot of people talking about this movie. I'm just being really honest. There is not a lot of people talking about this movie. The only people talking about this are... The only time this is talked about is when someone posts about it saying, what do you guys think about it? But besides that, you don't see like people going out of the way, making tweets, talking, saying how much they enjoy it. Like I said, it's 10 years later and people still bring up Man of Steel. Before even this was a thing, like before they even announced James Gunn coming back, James Gunn taking over DC and him rebooting Superman, Man of Steel was still a topic. Like people were still talking about this. That's what people need to understand.
To 35 million tickets sold. And that's your metric. And Superman is not going to beat Man of Steel. And James Gunn brought this on himself. Optically, one of the first things they did, Chris, was get rid of Henry Cavill.
Right.
Which was the dumbest move they could do. I said this time and time again. That was the dumbest move they ever made. And a lot of people are saying that they blame it on Dwayne Johnson. Honestly, I don't really blame it on him, even though his ideas for DC were pretty wild. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like what he was planning to do with DC was pretty dumb. But I don't blame all of it on him. Like, James Gunn came in, and I guess he said he wanted to do a fresh slate, which I think it's fine. But I don't think you should have fired Henry Cavill. I'm just saying, because that was not a smart move. Because one thing you gotta understand is that Henry Cavill, he wanted to play Superman. He loved this role. Like, he wanted to play this. Like, that's what gets me upset about this. I mean, I said this time and time again. You know, the reason why DC went the route it did with the DCEU is because, like, of the execs. They're trying to, like, play catch up. So that's one of the main reasons why I'm making stupid decisions when it comes to these movies. But yeah, firing Henry Cavill, incredibly stupid. Especially with the backlash. Like literally, like almost everyone on the internet was upset by this move. Like if you see something like that happen, you have to bring the guy back. I'm just saying.
And like
That choice.
and to do it so publicly, and not really say much at the time. I know there's some revisionists like, oh, I didn't fire. You didn't say shit at the time, bro. You didn't say, all you said is, oh, maybe we'll work with him again. He got fucking fired. He did. He got let go. And you know that was going to rub people wrong. Going into this, you knew the Snyder Bros weren't going to like you anyway. You had to earn, and you know how you earn that back? You don't talk shit to them. You ignore what they're saying. And yes, they can get fucking spicy and salty. It doesn't matter. You make the best movie possible and you try to just win them over with the quality of the content. That's what you do. It's not fucking rocket science. Instead, he came off kind of antagonistic, and you brought this on yourselves. Now we have gun bros who have been rooting for this movie, and like what kind of surprises me. I love fandom, and this is part of fandom. Is how much people are willing to fight over not even arguably a mid movie. It's a mid movie.
Yeah,
it's mid. And it's performing like a mid-movie.
And then the crazy thing is, Man of Steel, you could say it's a mid-movie, but compared to this movie, nowhere near. Nowhere near.
It's not terrible, but it's not terrible, but it doesn't resonate. It doesn't. I feel like a year from you gotta look at things actually. Will it age well? I don't think it will. I don't think it's aging well now. Man of Steel has actually aged well. Even though there are good arguments, things to not like about Man of Steel, I will return to that movie and watch it because there are...
And see, this is what I just said earlier. People will still talk about Man of Steel like he just said. It aged well. This movie is not going to be remembered. It's not going to be remembered. It's not. Again, whose idea was it to let James Gunn write arguably one of the most popular superheroes ever to be created? Like, whose idea was this? I can't believe I'm saying this, but thank God it was Superman and not Batman. Because Jesus Christ, imagine if this was Batman. Imagine if it was Batman. But yeah, like I said, like he just said it himself, Man of Steel aged very well, and I said, and it did. Like the CGI aged very well. You can go into this right now. Look at the fight scenes, bro. The fight scenes are still phenomenal. Flu Flame, if you're still watching, you can start the stream. I'll join you in a bit. But yeah, this is. I told people this before the movie came out. I told people that this movie's not going to be remembered.
Are scenes that are epic, and the Russell Crowe, Krypton stuff. I love. Like, so
Russell Crowe and Henry Cavill. That was a good chemistry. I feel like that was a good chemistry between them. I really liked the father and son chemistry they had in Man of Steel.
I just don't think I'm gonna rewatch Man of Steel. I'm not enthused about going to see Superman again.
So yes, they let go of Cavill, and their initial plan was to bring in the Authority. We've gone over it over and over again, and
this is the shit I'm talking about. This, and I said this before, like you are rebuilding DC. You are rebuilding DC. You need to rebuild what DC stands for. When people think of DC, people think of Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, The Flash, Green Lantern, Aquaman, Martian Manhunter, The Joker, Lex Luthor. People think these are the characters that people think of DC. Why the fuck are you doing the Authority? I'm just being honest. I'm just being honest with you right now. Even people that read like Batman, Superman comic books, even they don't even know who the fuck the Authority is. Nobody knows who these people are. And I'm just really confused why he's doing this. And this is the problem I have with James Gunn. He comes in and takes characters that people don't really know about, and he does his own twist to it. And that's what gets me upset. And the reason why he does that is because he knows if he works on characters that people know fairly well, he knows he can't do his own twist to them. He knows he has to stick to the source material. Why do you think he told John Cena not to read the Peacemaker comic books before doing Peacemaker? And I'm not making that up, guys. That's actually true. It is actually true. And it's not just with that. We're seeing that with a lot of properties nowadays. A lot of these properties, they're telling their actors and actresses not to read the source materials. And that's one of the main reasons why so many of these projects nowadays from Hollywood are just so bad.
The biggest question about James Gunn I had going in, and after watching his movie, it was all of my concerns were confirmed. Is he the right guy to do a traditional superhero with the hero's journey? Is he the kind of guy who actually read Superman prior to 2000? Is he the kind of guy that puts an American flag outside of his house on the 4th of July? Mine is out 365 days a year, by the way. Was he the kind of guy that could pull off something that I've mentioned? You know, Brad Bird would have been a better Kaczynski from Top Gun Maverick, and F1 would have been a better choice for Superman. Somebody who is a extremely competent director, but would also understand the spirit of Superman, which, like, a guy who directed Top Gun Maverick gets it. That's the approach you take towards Superman. Not some edgelord. He put up kind of his favorite comics, you know, and some of them were good, but they were all Grant Morrison, Tom King. You know, it's all that kind of, it's all the stuff the college kids liked. It's all the stuff the college kids, the edgy stuff. You know, that's why he's going to Damian Wayne and Batman.
Which is still stupid, in my opinion. Like, I'm not saying don't do Damian. I'd rather you lead into that. Like, why the hell are you starting off with Damian Wayne as Robin for your Batman? That is just stupid. That makes no sense. So you're basically telling us that either one, Damian Wayne's going to be the first Robin, which most likely is not going to be the case because he did say that there's going to be like a Nightwing in this universe. So are they basically going to do what they did with the animated movies, basically making Damian the quote-unquote second Robin? Because apparently Jason Todd and Tim Drake didn't exist. So again, I'm just really confused on what direction they're going with this. Like, I don't know why they're fast tracking this so much. Like, if you want to do Damian, that's fine, but do not rush into it right away. Lean into it. Start off with Dick Grayson as Robin. Show his journey from him as a flying Grayson to him losing his parents to him becoming Robin to him finding who killed his parents, Tony Zuko. Help to lead him find Tony Zuko to face justice, then leading him to leave Batman's side to, you know, form the Titans, and then show him becoming Nightwing. Then you can do Jason Todd. Then you can do Tim Drake's. Then you can do Damian. Why are you fast tracking so much? And plus, like, think about this. If you're going towards Damian, that means Batman is pretty old. You're basically doing the same mistake that Zack Snyder did. Making another Batman that's old. Like, I just don't get what these guys are doing.
Because that's the Grant Morrison run, you know. And they brought in some Superman writers. That's great. But they riffed on Man of Steel a little bit in that movie. but from John Byrne, which is pretty much what your imprint should have been, because John Byrne made sure to make Superman an American in that. So like, you know, and not some immigration bullshit. And he wasn't the guy to do it. He just wasn't. It's his worst movie. I think there is stuff he is suited for in DC and would be much better at if he'd do that. And he should have passed off And it was asked in Geeks and Gamers Daily this morning, like, do you think he passes it off to somebody else? I think he should. I don't think he will. I don't think his ego will allow it.
I think he should, but I agree with everything you just said. He should, but his ego won't allow it. James Gunn has a massive ego. He's not gonna let go of it. Superman is a massive property. He's not gonna let go of it.
But I don't think his ego will allow it, but he absolutely should. He should let somebody else write and direct it. Period.
I feel like he should let the It was said about this before. I think he should let the writer who worked on Mission Impossible, because he was working on Henry Cavill, to try to make a Man of Steel 2 sequel before it got canned. I think they should let him do a Superman movie.
I just want to get my timeline down right, because I was somewhat in the middle of this in a weird way, because I talked to Henry Cavill in the middle of when Black Adam's coming out.
Oh, good God.
Yeah. And we love Henry, of course. And
yes, he's the sweetest guy.
Sweet guy. Love him. And he has the cameo at the end. We had a big moment on stage where he thought he was coming back. We all thought he was coming back. But maybe unbeknownst to him or not, you're already writing a Superman movie, which is clearly for a younger actor. Then soon thereafter, you get the gig as the head of DCU, correct? I had this roughly right?
Yeah, that's right. Yes, correct.
So then, at a certain point, you and Peter have to have that unfortunate phone call, I would imagine.
No, we sat down with him. We sat down with Henry.
So without revealing too much, what is that like to have to be the guy to tell Superman, thank you for your time, we have to go a different way now?
It's terrible.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but believe it or not, I was, the day we, so we were dealing with trying to figure out if we could take the job at DC Studios.
Yeah. He's trying to think of politically.
I feel like he's trying to find a nice way to answer this, while also not trying to badmouth Warner Brothers execs. I feel like that's what he's trying to say right now.
How to answer.
Yes.
But reminder, I was in Hall H during the Peacemaker Season 2 panel, and there was a half-hearted, like, people tried to give Gunn a standing ovation when Josh Horowitz, who moderated that panel, mentioned Superman, and it was like maybe 25-30% of the audience.
That's crazy for Hall H, by the way.
The rest of people
which applauds everything.
John Cena made jokes about him not getting a standing ovation. God, I don't know where that clip is somewhere, but someone has to find that, because it was kind of embarrassing. It's like, we're not all down with this. And what I don't like about his press tour is he acts like everyone loved the movie and it's better than anything super. It's not. I don't think he's aware that it's good. And he's acting like he hit a home run, and
No.
Yeah.
If anything, he bunted the first.
Yeah.
Or it was
He got on base.
He got on base. It was an error,
It was an okay movie. Like, again, the most mid superhero movie to come out. I haven't even seen the movie yet. I can't believe I'm saying this. I put Batman vs. Superman over this movie. Even though I didn't like Batman vs. Superman.
It needed to be a grand slam, and for them to try to play it down publicly tells you everything you need to know. And absolutely, there's no way they're like, okay, so they had, he's trying to tell me right now, and everybody in this audience, the lovely audience, you look great today, audience. I just want to say that.
Yeah, amazing.
You look beautiful. That when he was writing Superman, they weren't having conversations at all about him taking over DC. Bullshit. Fucking bullshit.
Yeah, that's bullshit. Yeah,
that is just not true.
100% agree. 100% agree. I 100% agree with that. And again, I still think it was dumb, incredibly dumb, for the execs to let him take over. Like, out of all people, you want him to take over. That's incredibly stupid. This is someone who has never even ran like a franchise. He just worked under a franchise. That's why I'm still upset. I truly, truly wish that Henry Cavill and the director for Mission Impossible was able to pitch that movie before Warner Brothers had a chance to meet with James Gunn, man. I really, really wish they had a chance to do that, man. Because I truly feel like the director for Mission Impossible could have done a better job doing a Superman movie.
True. They were absolutely having conversations, and they knew where those conversations were going, and they knew it was going to be official, and he knew he was going to have to can Henry Cavill, and he knew it when that cameo came in, and when The Rock did all this shit, and the management of Warner Brothers knew it, and it's such bullshit. But let's continue.
And we're talking to David Zaslav and all the legal people there and figuring out what our deals would be. And the day our deal closed, all of a sudden they were announcing that, that Henry was back. And I'm like, what is going on? We know what the plan is. Like, we know what the plan is. The plan was to come in and do Superman.
Yeah.
So it was really unfair to him, and it was a total bummer.
Total bummer.
But there was a
you were totally unaware. Completely unaware. He was not aware at all.
So now again, I don't know how true this is or not, because I did hear, according to reports, like when Black Adam came out, The Rock was trying to get Henry Cavill to do a cameo in the movie. I guess the execs at the time were saying no, so I guess The Rock had to go past their heads, to the people above them, to get the okay to bring back Henry Cavill. So that's how that Henry Cavill was able to make that small cameo in Black Adam. But again, I feel like all of this, the reason why all this went down mainly is because Black Adam it just wasn't a good movie, and it didn't make money. I feel like if Black Adam made money, we would obviously be seeing a whole different DC right now. But yeah, like I said, I'm not sure how true what James Gunn is saying right now, if you didn't know this or not.
Guy who's going to be the head of DC Studios had no idea. And then if that's true, let's say if that's true, you sign a contract with the fuckers who hold that information from you?
Exactly.
Really?
Yeah. I think Henry was given bad information. The Rock wanted it to happen. And maybe there were other people in corporate who were trying to orchestrate Cavill's return. And they were... James Gunn wasn't in power yet, and so I don't know. They did what they call an end around.
They did it. Oh yeah, this shit happens in football, corporate all the fucking time, all the time. But to say you're not aware of it, and even if you weren't, you signed a deal with these people, you're dumb. Because guess what? This is.
Yeah, and I agree. I just refuse to believe he didn't know about it. But yeah, a great video from the Erotic. Like I said before, I knew this movie wasn't gonna be on the same stream as Man of Steel. I know it wasn't gonna be on that same level. I do want to look at something else really quick. Where's that video? Okay, so this has to do with like the One Piece
videos about.
This has to do with the One Piece live action that they're doing. Play this real quick.
There's a reason I don't watch any anime live action adaptations that has any Western influence or involvement. Too many times they have proven not just to be incompetent, but just flat out corrupt when it comes to decision making, especially of the characters. Whether it's Faye being gay in Cowboy Bebop, Light having nowhere near the suave demeanor in Death, Faye being gay in Cowboy Bebop.
I have a friend that said he enjoyed the live action Cowboy Bebop. I'm still confused on how he can enjoy this show. Like I agree with Monte Sensei. I don't watch any anime, any live action properties that were animes. I just refuse to watch it. They're the only way that can make me watch it is if it's being produced by the Japanese. Like if they are in charge of the production. That's the only way I can watch it. And there's only a few series that could have live action adaptations. Some series, and they have to be like somewhat like limited, like very limited supernatural properties that are happening. So like a series like well they already did Death Note, they butchered that, but if the Japanese were to produce a proper Death Note live action, I would be interested in that. Something that I would really want to see live action is Vinland Saga. A Vinland Saga live action with the Japanese being in charge and they're working with actual people from Scandinavia, like to people to work on this, or just get white actors to like recreate the Vinland Saga manga. That would be fucking insane. That would be fucking insane if they do that. Monster is another good one that could have a great live action. Monster is another good one.
Light having nowhere near the suave demeanor in Death Note, with the obvious race swap of L that a young Jared Leto would have done right. And even beyond that, I'm just done watching Western media as a whole, with very, very few exceptions, mainly because I'm sick of playing the cat and mouse game with Hollywood, where they reel you in with false hope, like a few good episodes or solid first few seasons or something. Then once they realize they have you hooked is when they introduce the political correctness, the agenda, the blatant in-your-face message, but let's pretend it's not there. But if you dare call out what everyone else sees, then you're the problem. And the latest instance where this is occurring is the race swap of Vivi in season 2 of the One Piece live.
So apparently the One Piece live action, there's a character that they're introducing and they race swapped them. I never watched the One Piece live action. I heard a lot of good things about it, but like I said, I don't watch live action animes, especially especially if it's like shonen, because I'm just gonna be honest, keep anime the way it is kept. If there is gonna be a live action, let the Japanese do it. Do not let Hollywood do it, especially Hollywood nowadays. But I mean, yeah, I don't understand why they race swapped her. Pretty sure they could have found someone with the same skin complexion as this.
Action.
Oh, not again.
And I already know what people's response will be trying to minimize. It's just one thing, why don't you watch past it?
Yeah, see, people who say things like that, it's just one thing, watch past it. These are the same these people, these are the same people that these other people will literally watch anything, no matter how bad it is. These are the type of people that will take anything you give them. These are the people who would rather watch Superman than Man of Steel, basically. People who say stuff like this.
And my answer is,
How about no?
and this actually coincides with my previous videos about gatekeeping. It's that soft attitude that emboldens these types to do whatever they want with these properties. You allow a little of it, and eventually you will get a lot of it as time.
Exactly, and that's why it's very important to stop it before it begins. Because if you let little things like that, because if they see that, if they see the fans are allowing this, they're like, they're allowing that. All right, let's go even bigger. That's when they start race swapping or gender swapping like major characters that are being introduced, and that's where it starts. And then when the fans get upset, you can be like, "Oh, but you liked us when we did this," and it's just like, nope. Like you gotta stop it before it begins.
After time has proven, to the point we've gotten a handicapped Spider-Man and
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I think I talked about this before. Go back to that. Where's that picture? I think I talked about this before.
as time after time has proven, to the point we've gotten a handicap.
This is the dumbest idea I've ever seen in my entire life. As a creative, like as someone who likes to create stuff, this is the dumbest thing I ever heard of. Hands down. Like this makes no sense. I actually talked to someone who actually is in a wheelchair, someone down here in Dallas, because I go to a manga store, and he works there, and I talked to him about some of this stuff. He even says that this is the dumbest thing he ever seen. This makes no sense. This makes zero sense whatsoever. From what I understand about this character, she's in a wheelchair, right? Because she can't use her legs. But apparently, she has like these polio crutches, and they shoot out web. And she has like spider-like abilities, and it's just like, why? No person in a wheelchair wants to see another person in a wheelchair doing superhero stuff. A person in a wheelchair wants to walk. It's that plain and simple. This comic book didn't sell, by the way, if you're wondering. If you're wondering if it sell, it didn't. You can literally search up the sales for this right now if you want to. This thing did not sell. Nobody talks about this. Nobody talks about this.
Cap Spider-Man and gay Captain America, where it isn't just blatant but flat out silly. And that's how deterioration of a property works, little by little, slowly but surely. Like a house left unmanaged or not maintained, eventually developing leakage, cracks in the roof, floorboards weaken to where the whole thing collapses overnight and you're left wondering why. Because you overlook the obvious, compromising the integrity to where it becomes unrecognizable. And this isn't just theory or speculation, but by this point, it's pattern recognition. And I get it. There are those in good faith making the point, well, I'm usually not for the race swaps, but I'll excuse this because Vivi is the queen of a society in the desert, which can be depicted of a certain tribe of people, so I guess it makes sense. But for this, using their logic, it still falls flat because the actress is Indian and not of Arab descent, so it makes it even worse for everyone enabling this, trying to rationalize this type of decision making. But even then, it's causing debates on top of debates in the comments, what is true, what's accurate in this region versus that region, when all you had to do was pick a fair-skinned actress to play a fair-skinned character. And if the activist-minded types find that problematic, tell them to
Get the fuck out!
It's that simple.
When I'm watching anime, my suspension of disbelief is so high, I don't need everything to make sense. It's a show where the main character can stretch his limbs further than a football field, so real life accuracy isn't necessarily the aim of this story, but only to entertain, making you feel something at times. Without this politically correct, obsessed, not enough representation, which it already has in this show, that nobody had a problem with until 5 seconds ago. And I don't know who made this decision, who approved it or finalized it, but I do know the showrunner isn't the same as the first season. Maybe that has something to do with it. And I know Oda has a lot of say in the development of this adaptation. So maybe he didn't choose it, but still approved it. Which raises another concern of mine when it comes to Japanese creators working with Western creators. I say that using air quotes. There's something that happens with authentic creators that once they created something of extreme value, they pick up the phone when current Hollywood calls and get sucked into that bubble. And they eventually catch that politically correct bug. I say that metaphorically, but also seriously. When a true creator creates in an activist free zone, they're not thinking, does this pass the politically correct test? Does this fulfill representation representation quotas? Does this offend, etc.? It doesn't occur until they become a part of that bubble where now they're micromanaged every step of the way, where the quotas themselves filter out any creativity they had. Or if a number of people said, well, your story is so popular and beloved around the world, wouldn't it be nice to just change it up a little so people in different regions could see themselves in the character?
No.
No?
No!
You wouldn't want to catch that this is offensive backlash, would you? Just saying. So then one might feel obligated or compelled to comply or concede to play nice. Let's not cause too much conflict, because any other way they might be worried to be seen as the bad guy or not inclusive. Something no one had a problem with for the nearly 30 years One Piece has been running, versus until 5 seconds ago, trying to appease those who can never be satisfied no matter what you do. Now, as I've
Again, people who need to see themselves in character and like things like this, like you have a very, very shallow mindset and personality. Like it's just insane to me. Like just because someone doesn't have the same skin or has the same upbringings as you doesn't mean that it just doesn't mean that you automatically have to connect by them. Like people like certain characters based just because of like there's certain aspects about the character that just makes it relatable to you. Like I see this time and time again. So many people love Batman. Yeah, I remember Batman, Bruce Wayne. He's a billionaire. Your average person is not a billionaire, but yet so many people love Batman. Because Batman brings so much what Batman brings to the table is so relatable that everyone can look up to. Same thing with characters like Spider-Man.
said, I don't know how this decision occurred, but one would make the bet
Well, I smell bet.
that if Oda was making this live action strictly in Japan with no Western involvement, influence, same budget,
I
only
kind of wish he did that, honestly. I wish that he just made this in Japan and then just licensed it out to Netflix. I wish they would have done that.
to license to the West. Full creative control, meaning he distinctly picks the actors and actresses from the casting call himself. We would have received an actress who resembles Vivi accurately from the anime, skin, hair, boobs, and all.
Patty has some big ass titties.
But that's all I have for this video. Tell me what you think in the comment section below. I know I'll catch flack for this. It is what it is. And I also don't mean just...
I mean, yeah. These properties need to stop. They need to start working with Hollywood to make some of these properties, man. Because it's always gonna happen all the time. It's always gonna happen. But I think I'm gonna end the stream there. I didn't want to stream for too long. I just wanted to talk about those two things. Thank you guys for joining me this evening. Really appreciate it. I am gonna be playing some games on the Flu Flame channel. I don't know if you see his name in the chat. You can just join us there. We'll be playing some Ghost War over there. But thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, follow me on social media. The links are below. But that's all I have for this one. There's the Way Blur, and I'm signing out.